us until December 2024. Don't miss out. Call us now at 0706 393 5694 or 0906.
High Impact Radio 10.
Hello and welcome to On Record, where every word matters on High Impact 102.1 FM. We are live on YouTube and on X. I am Vivian Oguche. Now on the program we discuss the actions, inactions of government, ministries, departments and agencies, as well as business and health affairs that shape our worldview. The program also encapsulates personalities and institutions that make decisions that affect the lives of people one way or the other. And then we also avail you, our listeners and viewers, the opportunity to call in and make your contribution. Now, defamation law is a critical aspect of legal systems worldwide, designed to protect individuals and entities from false and damaging statements that harm their reputation. Whether in print, speech, or digital form, defamatory acts can cause significant personal, professional, and social consequences for the victim. Understanding the intricacies of defamation law is essential in navigating issues related to free speech, reputation, and accountability in today's interconnected society. Now, at the heart of defamation law are two key categories: libel and slander. Libel refers to defamatory statements made in written or permanent forms, while slander involves spoken or temporary expressions. To establish a defamation claim, specific legal elements must be proven, such as the falsity of the statement, its publication, and the resulting harm. These elements aim to strike a balance between safeguarding reputations and preserving the fundamental right to freedom of expression. We will take a short break. When we come back, we will begin to talk in depth on this topic. Stay with us.
High Impact.
Tease your taste buds from a world of delectable choices. High Impact Planet. Fun just got real.
Impact Radio 102.1 FM. The future is now. High Impact Radio 102.1 FM. The future is now.
You're welcome back. The show is on record, where every word matters, on High Impact 102.1 FM. We are live on YouTube, High Impact 102.1 FM, and on X at High Impact 102.1 FM. You can also watch us live on Facebook at High Impact Studios and High Impact TV on Nicomsat 42 degree East. Now, to join the conversation, you can call 0700 1021 1021, or you can send WhatsApp messages to 0907 224 5018. The topic of the day is understanding defamation law and key elements of defamation law. And joining us right now is Tomiwa Fadeye. He is a legal practitioner and always a delight to have on the show. Good morning, Tomiwa.
Yes, please. Good morning. Good to be on here on the program this morning.
Yes.
I hope you're having a fine Monday.
Absolutely. I know normally we have you on TV, but we're having you on radio today. So, hey, welcome aboard.
Yeah, so it's a shift from the norm, but I'm happy to be here with you.
Thank you. So let's begin by addressing the elephant in the room, the tug of war between two legal practitioners. I don't know if I can call them two legal luminaries, but then I know you already know where I'm driving at. Dele Farotimi and Afe Babalola. Let me have your take on that particular matter. Yes, let me have your take on that matter before we begin to define defamation. What's your take, though? What exactly is going on?
Well, from my understanding of the issues, which is, I must confess, very limited compared to the people who are in the middle of the tug of war, as they are. I understand that Mr. Dele Farotimi wrote a book about the criminal justice system of Nigeria. And the book, which has been published and is now in circulation, a copy of which I have seen electronically, but I have not read completely. However, I have read what I believe are the offending excerpts of that book, offending excerpts to Chief Afe Babalola right now, who is the complainant, as well as some justices of the Supreme Court and some other legal luminaries who I think have not come out yet to say anything. People like Lawal, Pedro, SAN, Olaparu, and the likes of them. And I realized that Chief Afe Babalola feels like there has been an assassination of his character, which in more legal terms we refer to as defamation of character against his person. And Chief Afe Babalola has now resorted to taking legal steps, one way or the other, against the author of the book, that is Mr. Dele Farotimi, who, as you have rightly said, is also a legal practitioner. Right? I understand that the matter is popular that are not elect case, which started at Farmers, I think 1979 or about, that had Chief Afe Babalola and Farotimi together, maybe on opposing sides and all of that. And Farotimi self-flighted and referred to Chief Afe Babalola as grand master of corruption in the Nigerian judiciary. Alleging that Chief Afe Babalola had corrupted the judges to procure judgment in favor of the client, and on and on, and series of allegations which are quite weighty.
Yeah.
And Chief Afe Babalola has taken legal steps. I think that's just my understanding of the issues as they are at the moment.
Yeah, and that's very insightful. Thank you so much for that. And now, why this is so weighty is that it is in a written form. It is everlasting, really. Yeah? What Dele has said about Afe Babalola.
Yes, and I think that has always been my point. Since this matter started, I was on an interview like this sometimes back. I think about 2 days or 3 days ago, and I told that without going into who is wrong and who is right, because trial is still going on, that matter is so big. So I cannot pronounce categorically. Even if I do so, it is my opinion, personal opinion, right? It is not binding us.
Yeah.
But without going into the pros and cons completely of that issue, my own annoyance, the fact that you see, Jennifer to me is somebody who is very courageous, right? And is somebody who as if to say, speak truth to power, right? I do not know whether those truths are actually true, so to say, or whether they are not. But I think this is a test, a litmus test of some sort.
Yes.
So my issue is that if it was to be a tweet on X or a post on Facebook, or if it was to be a careless rant on maybe TV or radio or something, which he has done constantly, and Chief Afegbalo Babalola did not take action, it would have been different. But when you are talking about a book in circulation, published, and Chief Afegbalo Babalola, has people who look up to it, whether we like it, whether we like it or not, he is at the moment one of the most respected, one of the most distinguished living luminaries of our time, of this generation, right? And we are lucky to have him around. Chief Afegbalo Babalola, if those allegations are false, they feel slighted that book will get into the hands of people who maybe his grandchildren, maybe his great-grandchildren, and what impression does that leave on them of their grandfather, or of their great-grandfather, of his office, or his practice, which he said he has done for over 6 decades. So I think that is a major point. And when we were discussing, somebody said, Chief Afegbalo Babalola had made Parrot music even more popular, that the book is now sold out. I said, well, that is even, to me, in any defamation case, that is even a plus. If Parrot to me is not able to prove the allegations, the weighty allegations which he has leveled against the man and justice of the Supreme Court, our entire judiciary system, then the fact that book got sold out in itself is even a plus to our first case. To say that the book has gone far and wide, his name has been completely destroyed, and that in fact people bought that book because his name was cited in it for the wrong reason.
Very true.
So we have to look at both sides of the coin. So I agree with you that the fact that it's a book in everlasting form, as they have put it, very likely so, makes it even more annoying to the complainant or to the plaintiff as it would soon be.
Very well said. In fact, Afegbalo Babalola is actually demanding for proof. He wants proof. So a fresh charge has been filed by the police against Dele Farotimi. So this brings me to the topic of the day. We are going to dissect this particular aspect of the case later on when it comes to burden of proof. But for starters, though, for someone on the street, someone in the market who's saying, so what's the fuss about this whole thing? Because this particular story has been on the front burner for days now. So this is my question to you. How does the Nigerian legal system define defamation? Right? And then there's a part B, which is what are its primary components? But let's start with the definition of defamation.
All right. Let me just put it easily. For people like you are studying on the street or in the market and want to have a grasp of what defamation is. This is the Court of Appeal in what we call a local classical case in Salaudeen against Okunle, which was reported in 2020 in the Nigerian Weekly Report.
I'm so sorry, Tomiwa. I didn't get it clearly. Can you start all over again? What did you say?
I said the Court of Appeal. Defamation, one of my favorite definitions of defamation, which is all encompassing, is as explained by the Court of Appeal in what we call a local classical case. That is Salaudeen against Okunle, which was reported in 2020 in the Nigerian Weekly Law Report at 1722. And the Court of Appeal simply said, defamation consists of, please note, the publication to a third person or persons of any work at all or matter, which tends to lower the person defamed in the estimation of right-thinking members of the society generally, or to cut him off from the society, or to expose him to hatred, contempt, or problem, or ridicule, or to injure his reputation in office, trade, or profession, or to injure his financial credit. That is what defamation is. That is, to me, one of the most exhaustive, extensive definitions of defamation. And let me explain that. If you take from this definition, I think you can even know what the elements are. That there must be a publication, right? The publication must be to a third person or persons. And that work, any work, it is not compulsory that it should be a book. It can be a tweet. It can be a drawing. It can be an article. Any work at all or matter which tends or which aims to lower the person defamed in the estimation of right-thinking members of the society. That is to say, when right-thinking members of the society look at this book, look at this article, look at this tweet, look at this work, when they look at it, does that reduce their estimation of the person who is defamed, or to cut him off from the society? Does that cut him off from the society? Does that expose him to some certain level of hatred, contempt, opprobrium, or ridicule? Does that injure his reputation? Does that injure his office or in his profession or in his trade? Or does that injure his financial credit? So when a work, when a book, when a tweet, when an article, when a drawing, in this case, when Dele Farotin's criminal justice system book ticks all of these boxes, it is defamatory nature.
Yeah.
It has certainly in the box of defamation, and it has fulfilled all the elements that is necessary. That is, if the court had got it to tick all these boxes, it has fulfilled all the elements of defamation.
That's a very clear answer. Thank you so much. Now, under defamation, we have libel and slander, right?
Yes.
Could you expatiate a little?
Yes. You see, defamation, as you have said principally, and I think maybe after this interview, we'll agree, because the defamation, as you have said, essentially, is divided into two broad parts. There's libel and then there's slander. It is almost the same thing, but there's a fine line, a thin line of difference, and that libel is in written form, while slander is spoken words to another person other than the person you choose. Libel is just written. Slander is when you just speak to somebody else. For instance, if I go to somebody else or a group of people, maybe in public, I'm delivering a speech, or I'm on radio as I am now, and I defame somebody else by word of mouth, that in itself is slander. It is that part of the foundation that is slander. But if I go ahead to write it and publish it, and the keyword here is publication, and let's just say that publication is not when you take it to the press. By law, in this regard, in the case of defamation, in the law of defamation, publication is not when you put it in papers and then you now say you have published. Publication, the moment you deliver that to any other person other than the plaintiff, the moment if I try to defame Mr. A now, and I write it in a paper and I deliver it to Mr. C, the publication is complete. I don't have to take it to the printing press.
Okay.
So it is good to take note of the term publication in this case, in the case of law of defamation. So publication is complete when I deliver that work to any other person apart from the plaintiff, the person who is claiming that he is defamed.
Wow, that's extensive. What you just said. Now,
yes.
What's it called now? Slander and libel. Do they both carry the same weight when it comes to punishment?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Okay.
I told you the only difference is just
one is written, one is spoken.
Spoken, yes.
Yeah.
One is written and one is spoken.
All right.
Yeah. So that's the main difference.
So can you please explain the differences in the burden of proof for libel and slander under Nigerian law? I know you already said one is written, one is spoken. You already explained to us what publication is now. It mustn't be in a book, but once you've written it and the third party has seen it, it's publication. It's been publicized. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So for slander, what is the burden of proof then?
When you say burden of proof, as established by Section 131 and 132 of the Evidence Act 2011 as amended, as in every other civil case, burden of proof is placed on the plaintiff. The burden of proof in law is just the weight of who is going to prove this allegation. When you go to court in a civil suit, the plaintiff who will establish that burden. That is the law. That is the law. Now, in the case of slander or libel, as you have asked me, as is relevant to this conversation, the plaintiff who asserts that he has been defamed and who desires for the court to give him judgment, right, even in a criminal matter, you know that it is the prosecution that, and you know but I think this conversation will then take us to the issue of whether defamation is criminal in nature or civil in nature, and I've been seeing arguments on that. But to limit myself to the question which you have asked, it is the plaintiff that will show, first of all, proof that that thing has been published, right? Publication, as I've defined to you, you must show proof that publication has taken place, right? You must show that that thing is false. You must state that it is false. You must show that that publication has caused him an injury. An injury in this sense, if you remember the definition I gave you from the Okunoye case, an injury in this sense will mean that, my reputation is likely to or has been reduced in the eyes of right-thinking members of the public. Is the claimant who will show malice and all other elements connected to defamation in favor of the plaintiff. Then the defendant now has defense, right? In his defenses. One of the best, in fact, I think the best defense to defamation, so to say, is that what you are saying is correct. That what you are saying is true and is not false. In fact, there is a judge, I can't remember the judgment off the top of my head, and at the moment I don't have my materials, but there's a judge who said that you cannot allege defamation of character when you don't even have character in yourself. That is, if somebody says something about you and the thing is true, but you feel it is defamatory, as long as it is true, it will not amount to defamation. If, for example, somebody stole and the person was convicted for stealing in a court of law, and I go on air to say that Mr. A stole, I was convicted, you now say, he's reducing my reputation. You stole, you'll be convicted, and this is the truth. That is a defense to defamation in itself. So, but for the body of proof, it is the plaintiff who has that must show the elements of defamation and that those elements have been fulfilled or conditioned against him.
Very good. That's a good answer. Now, you just opened a can of worms, actually. Earlier on, you said that defamation could be either civil or criminal, right? I want us to talk a little bit about that. Now, let's also talk about jurisdiction. Why was Dele Farotimi moved from Lagos to Ekiti to be arrested?
Well, I cannot answer that question categorically. Okay. Because I am not involved. And then, because I am on air, I must be very, very circumspect about the
what
kind
you
of
say.
things I
Yes,
say.
absolutely.
Yes. But I understand that Chief Afeb Babalola wrote a petition of a copy of which I have seen, and I understand that it is alleged, let me use that word, that Dele Farotimi was invited on about 2 or 3 occasions by the police. But by the police, the petition Chief Afeb wrote was directed to the Commissioner of Police, I think, in Ekiti, right? And then Farotimi was, according to them, invited and didn't come, and then they had to effect an arrest. Right? I will not want to delve into the issue of territorial jurisdiction in criminal matters, which is what you're asking me. But something I must state for the purpose of knowledge. I don't know if I'm too clear on this call, but something. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Something I must state for the purpose of knowledge is that the law of defamation is very, 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 very tricky, right? It is tricky in the sense that, we have spoken about publication. We must also consider the idea of circulation, right? If somebody defames me now in Nigeria by an article which was circulated on Twitter or any social media platform, right? I can go to England and go and sue for defamation.
Okay.
I don't know if you believe me.
Yeah.
But the reason will be because if I'm able to show that people in England read the truth and people in England have lowered their estimation of me. Defamation is funny because those articles are circulated all around. So the question that has been on the lips of legal scholars, which I do not consider myself to be, is if people in Ekiti actually read copies of that book, if Afe, who is residing in Ekiti, maybe actually even read the book in Ekiti, and then people in Ekiti who have now read that book, seen those interviews, seen those tweets, and are of the opinion that Afeb Babalola is now exposed to ridicule or contempt or problem, right? I'm sure you know the answer to that.
Yes, absolutely.
That may be a factor. Yeah, I'm just saying that may
be. That may be. Another
yes,
thing.
I would not want to. And another thing, I'm sorry to cut in here.
Yes.
But another thing is that it has been established in several cases, right, that a citizen has a duty to report crimes, right? If I feel like a crime has been done against me, I have a duty, I have a right to report those crimes to the police. The issue of arrest and prosecution will not depend on the police.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good one.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
we need to go on a break.
Exactly.
But another argument, you there's something you said earlier on. The reason why he was arrested and taken to Ekiti. Another argument is that because in Lagos State defamation is a civil case, but in Ekiti is criminal. I don't know. I would like for you to expatiate on that a little bit when we come back from this break. Please stay with us.
All right. Thank you.
Foment, foment, foment.
Impact Radio 102.1 FM. The future is now.
Welcome back. The show is on record where every word matters right here on High Impact 102.1 FM. You can watch us live on Facebook at High Impact Studios. We are also live on YouTube, High Impact 102.1 FM, and on X at High Impact 102.1 FM. You can also watch us live on NICOMSAT 42 degree East. We're still discussing the topic, understanding defamation law and key elements of defamation. Of course, my name is Vivian, and right now, Tomiwa Fadi joins me. Tomiwa is a legal practitioner, and he's been awesome on the show so far. Tomiwa, thanks again for jumping on the show with us today.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So, let me phrase my question like this. What is the difference between a civil case and a criminal case as regards defamation?
Well, this is also quite true. But the difference is this. You know, defamation is one of the crimes that is one of the issues that can be a crime and a tort at the same time.
A crime and a what?
That is a tort.
Okay.
T-O-R-T-S.
Okay.
Yes, a civil wrong. Let me just say a civil wrong.
Okay.
At the same time.
Okay.
Right? So defamation is provided for. If I and the using thing together with the police who are prosecuting this matter are effectively able to divide this issue into about three justices. One is a tort, a civil one. The other is the crime of defamation in itself at the point. I think section 373 of the criminal code. And the third one is cybercrime.
The third one is what now? Cyber.
Cybercrime.
Okay.
Yes, the issue of cybercrime.
Okay.
Right. So the issue of defamation is criminalized by the Criminal Code of Criminal Code Act of Nigeria, and as well as some criminal code laws. Some. I need to say the word some, because that law has been domesticated in certain states, while in certain states it was repealed. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
I do.
Yes. In Lagos, I am not aware. I do not think that defamation is criminalized, is domestically criminalized by the criminal code laws of Lagos State, right? In Ekiti too, I have tried as much as possible to, check through their criminal code laws and all of that, and there is something that touches on that subject matter, but to me, it doesn't per se as much as you see when you look at Section 373 of the Criminal Code Act, you will see that it is criminalized. Defamation is criminalized there, right? But in the state, I think that was around 2019 or so, maybe repealed and all of that. So it is quite, by the Criminal Code Act of Nigeria, defamation is criminalized, right? So it is a criminal offense in Nigeria. I think the argument now is whether it is domesticated in the state.
That's the argument.
Yes, I think that is the argument. Whether it is domesticated in
Ekiti and not domesticated in Lagos. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So in civil form, defamation seeks to protect a man from his lifetime of possession of his reputation and good name. So that is what the civil aspect of it does, in my understanding. But in criminal defamation, seeks to prevent a situation in which defamation assumes a tendency to arouse angry passion or provoke revenge or affect the society, maybe set the society ablaze in a way that public peace is endangered. I don't know if you understand the difference I'm trying to.
Yeah, something that's insightful, right?
Exactly my point. In civil suit now, in civil defamation, we not just seek to protect you. Say, okay, your reputation has been damaged. How do we protect you? How do you get damages and all that stuff? In criminal law, the law is not trying to prevent a situation where it will lead to angry passion, breach of public peace, to provoke revenge and set the society ablaze. That is, to me, that is the major difference. That is what the law seeks to achieve by criminalizing and then making it a tortious act. That is defamation.
All right. Let's flip this coin a little bit. Dele is known to be very vocal, right? He's outspoken.
Yes.
So this begs the question. Please discuss the interplay between defamation law, or defamation, if I may say, and freedom of speech, especially in a democratic
and freedom
society.
Of speech.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, freedom of speech.
All right. Yes. I get this question a lot. You see, freedom of speech as provided for, as enshrined in the Constitution of Nigeria, Chapter 4 of the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria, as amended and as altered, is not absolute. Freedom of speech and expression is not absolute.
Okay.
In the sense that, let me remind you that as Dele Farotimi has rights, Afe Babalola also has rights.
That's exactly right.
And there is a popular saying in law that your own right to swing your arms stops at the nose of the next person. Okay, yes, you have the right to arms, but will you, because you are swinging your arms, punch the nose of the other person? So your right to swing your arms stops at your freedom of expression is not inclusive of freedom to insult, to ridicule, or to defame somebody else. That's my clear answer to that. Nobody has said sorry to you. See, if you are criticizing somebody, look, I'm not sure anybody who wants to comment on this issue should go and read the excerpts of that book. It is alarming, and even for the purpose of our judicial system, for the purpose of our law, it is important that this case or these cases that have been filed by Chief Afe Babalola proceed to full trial.
Wow.
The Supreme Court has been demonized. Yes, the justices of the Supreme Court, Justice Akas, Justice Kekere Ekun, people like Lawal Pedro, have been demonized by the articles, by the book that we are talking about. We want to know if it is true. These cases, it is good for our judicial system for these cases to proceed to full trial. We want to know if it is true that Afe Babalola, Chief Afe Babalola, corrupted those judges.
Yeah.
It is important for us to know. You cannot make an allegation like that and not substantiate them with hard proof. Because if it is true, that means we are in trouble.
Yeah.
If it is not true and it goes scot-free, we are also in trouble.
Okay.
So it is good for Nigerians to know. If you are saying that people have been bribed, show us Supreme Court justices, show us proof of that bribery, so that we can take action against those Supreme Court justices and against the people who are peddling those who are peddling. But if it is not true, the man has the right, and the other people have been defamed, have the right to damage relief.
Wow, I'm so glad that you've brought it to light that it's not just Chief Affair that is licking his wounds. There are lots of other legal luminaries who are involved, but are really not coming out to say anything at the moment. Maybe they will in future. But as we wrap this up, in 30 seconds, what would be your recommendation to journalists, content creators, and authors in general to ensure compliance with defamation laws while maintaining editorial freedom? Just a very short answer.
Well, it is simple that journalists, on-air personalities, content creators have a duty to be circumspect. That is what the law says. The Court of Appeal in Sun Publishing Limited against Aladima and in Gomez against Punch, in Africa newspapers against Tusedi, have said that freedom of press, though fundamental, is not absolute. Freedom guaranteed by the Constitution does not now say that reporters should publish destructive stories about people's businesses without first having to conduct some investigation before hurrying to the press. Press freedom commands corresponding measure of responsibility. As that freedom exists, responsibility exists on the part of the reporter, and he must employ the highest level of professionalism to ensure that and fair reportage of events are published as they have occurred. He must be accurate in dissemination of news and information before you now pass it to others as gospel truth. To know the truth and to disseminate news recklessly, whether it is true or false, is the most serious of all things.
Fantastic. So what if a person is deceased, like the late TB Joshua, what the BBC did with him, it was after he had died that they came up with a report. What happens in a case like that if it is defamation? In a short while.
Well, defamation as it is personal.
Okay.
You cannot defame me in proxy.
All right.
It's the personal right, the personal issue that was addressed personally, except if other people were defamed in the process. Those other people can take action. Like in this case, Olafaro was defamed. The office of Afe Babalola and Co. was actually defamed. So, so even if something of such happens, there are other people who can take action with regards to that. So that's just to give you a short answer because I see that we are running out of time.
Yes, and that is a safe place to land. You have been extremely brilliant on the show today, Tomiwa. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
And that is the size of our show today. Thank you to everyone who contributed to making the show a success. Bigger thanks to you for watching and listening. Until I come your way again, I am Vivian Oguche. Bye.
On record.
Every word matters.
The democracy has not given us peace, but we must tinker with our democracy.
I'm upset with my friend that came before me.
Oh.
Yes, I listened to him and he shocked me by turning things upside down.
Well, can I say something?
Oh, that request was for you, because we already got this party started over here. See, I don't know if you all get it, but this is a very big deal to us. We're super pumped and uber excited because 2 is definitely better than 1. So let's get into it, shall we?
Everybody, let's get into it. Get started.